Cancer sun, I feel what you don't say. Scorpio moon, I see through the gray. I'm tuned to your soul, I read the unseen. 8th house mind, 12th house dreams. Tarot in my hands, planets in my sight. I decode the dark, turn shadow to light. Every chart's a mirror, every transit a sign. The past, the now, the future, all intertwined. I'm here for your healing, your truth, your rebirth. Reading your stars, reminding your worth. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Danyell, your favorite tarot reader, Astro.
Hello, welcome. It is me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. This week, we have a major turning point. As of today, Neptune will enter Aries. This is where belief stops being theatrical and starts being demanding. Also, we have Mars and Pluto. We're already feeling this, but this is a very active power in Aquarius. We have theatrics, which I was talking about, dramatics. Theatrical is that full moon in Leo and exposes what can't stay hidden anymore. If you are feeling tensions between who you are and what the world expects, then we'll explain why I will explain why this week. This week is more boycotting, more strikes. And speaking of, I want to talk about some current issues, okay? This is not in my notes, so I'm winging this. If you didn't know, I have a Mars in Gemini, so I take a lot of notes and read a lot of notes. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So we have current news, right? We had the ice. I looked up. I did a TikTok on. I did a TikTok, a short form video on Massachusetts of Minnesota. I'm reading that chart briefly. So I discussed that there. We'll leave that there. But I do want you to understand Pluto and Mars getting close. Once Mars entered Pluto, and I said this in previous videos, and we have this big aggression, and Pluto and Mars together is very intense and a lot of power struggles. And Mars represents weapons, so hence we have in the sign Aquarius, this is going to be a boycott. I said it's very Black Lives Matter kind of energy, and that's what we are currently experiencing now. I'll talk about this a little bit more as we get into the video. I also wanted to talk about something else that was a current event, updates in technology. That is also happening. So if you see new regulations on platforms and updated systems on anything social media, and some are good, some are bad. I just want you to know that's what we get during this Aquarius season, especially with Pluto in the sign Aquarius. Okay. So now let's talk about the dates. The dates here we have for this week. As of today, Neptune enters Aries. Tomorrow, Mars will be sitting right on top of Pluto in Aquarius. And then on the 29th, Mercury will conjunct Venus. And then we have the full moon in Leo as of Friday. And that is February. No, that's not Friday. That's February 1st. Okay. So that is what we have. And now I'm going to break it down. But before I break everything down, please give me my flowers. Thumbs up this video. You like astrology? You like predictions? You like to know what's going on with everyone psychologically, or what's going on as far as the feeling and spiritually and intuitively, or the collective energy? If you like all that, and I'm telling you the tea on this, please thumbs up this video. If you like my content and what I do, if you just like me, thumbs up, okay? Also, too, don't forget to comment and subscribe and share, okay? If you are listening to this via podcast, hello, welcome. How do I sound? Do I sound sexy? I'm laughing because it's like that is not what I would describe my voice as. But anyway, welcome, you guys. Please download this episode, share, and rate the episode as well, okay? Now, I do want you to understand major themes that we have this week. And the reason I titled this thumbnail, The Truth Can't Hide, if you didn't know, that's what I titled it, is because we have that Mars conjunct Pluto, and we're already feeling that energy. And this is a huge one, right? And Pluto is the planet of hidden power and secrets and control and what's buried. It also is obsessed with power. power controls. Mars is very aggressive. It's action, it's force, it's what you start to get stuff started. In the sign Aquarius, you have the public, you have collections, or I mean, not collections, the collective, groups of people, networks, the systems, anything dealing with technology in the future. This transits forces buried motives into action. The truth comes out because there's pressure, and it makes things that are very hidden come to light. Even though the sun is in Aquarius too. So you have that. Also, too, why I titled this "The Truth Can't Hide" is because a Leo full moon, when you have the sun involved with anything, there's some type of enlightenment and clarity and awareness, an awakening of some sort. In the sign Aries, I mean, it's in the sign Leo, but then it's at 13 degrees, which is Aries energy. And full moons always reveal something, but it's going to reveal something very bold and loud in the sign Leo. Leo likes to be on stage, it likes to be visible. You're dealing with the ego, you're dealing with pride, you're dealing with your heart is on display. And that Aries degree, which Neptune is in Aries too, is very impulsive. There's exposure, there's no filter. So this moon is going to be very performative, and emotions will be more exposed than the reality of things. So we do have that, and we'll talk about how the full moon will have some oppositions to Mars and Venus, and there's confrontations too. So the truth cannot hide. That is what we're naming this week. Okay, now let's get started exactly with what we're seeing with the vibe in the sky. And as of today, we have Neptune entering Aries. Now, on my private community page, which is very affordable, I talk about this more explicitly, not a word. I talk about it in more detailed. And not only that, I put the playlist, which I will create the playlist. I'll link it in this video. I haven't already, but I'll link it in this episode and video for you guys so you can hear the playlist of everything you need to know about Neptune and Aries and Neptune conjunct Saturn in Aries. Okay. Now, Neptune is a very soft planet, but it's not soft when it's in the sign Aries. There's adrenaline with the softness, okay? And it's very kind of unfiltered because Aries is very unfiltered. Neptune likes to dissolve, Aries likes to initiate. Together, there is belief with a fuse. From surrendering, escapism, and compassion without direction. Now you have it with conviction and crusades and spiritual courage and delusion energy. People who are living very delulu, there's momentum. It's like, oh my gosh, wait a minute. I thought that person was crazy and they're actually going to do this craziness. This is faith also too that moves on a positive side, for better, or it could be for worse. This is also a delusion of any old images of an enemy kind of energy. Everyone will be idolized. The fighting spirit and the freedom of will. There will be lack of discipline with boundless inconsideration. Okay, I've actually there's a book that I like. Oh, the book is down here. This book is called Keywords for Astrology, and I put Neptune and Aries together to make some of those sentences now. So if they were like, "What are you talking about?" Um, I try to not change, but have you understand everything and word it in different ways so you can comprehend what's going on. Okay, so Neptune and Aries, even though I have done several videos on this, and I even just said I want more details for the paywall, more things that can't really be discussed in the light. The high positive things about this is that you have purpose with a goal. You could be very transfigured. There's instincts that's very transfigured. Action towards any type of dream, like like a fantasy of some sort, you can have action towards it. It's not weak, or it makes the weak strong. There's non-violence with violence. I know that doesn't make sense, but when we see it happen, then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, Danyell Carmelita said that. Okay, the victim with the perpetrator kind of energy. That's not a good one, but it's just, it is what it is. Explaining, this is when you see like aggression in the water too, or the cleansing of aggression also could be happening. You could be fighting with spiritual weapons in a non-violent way. There's dissolving of aggression, a strive for what is boundless. There's no boundaries with Neptune, but then there's effort in action with these but no boundaries kind of energy. This is also a Mr. and Mrs. because it's masculine and feminine energy put together. And then work with spiritual energies as a healer, as a therapist, in a very creative way too. So Neptune is the healer. It likes to heal things. There's forgiveness and releasing, and now there's assertiveness with this energy and action with it. So a lot of healing for a lot of people. Can work with fantasies and turn fantasies and visions into reality. Strong sexual fantasies too with this. Don't forget Mars is from men are from Mars, and the phallic symbol with Mars, and that also represents sexuality and sexual energy. And Neptune is could be the illusion. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But great deal for intuitive understanding. People are interested in spiritual sexual things like tantra or I don't know, Kama Sutra kind of energy. You can feel when the right moment has is a great time to act for the right moment. You feel it. It is intuitive and you do it. Okay. Spiritual bravery, acting on ideas, inspired leadership, pioneers, warriors for a meaning. And again, the spiritual warriors as well. On a positive side, a lot of spiritual exercises too. Again, yoga, Tai Chi, a lot of spirit. Okay. Committed to help. Now, Neptune is the planet of charity and it likes to help for the greater cause. It sacrifices a lot of energy, and now you have the action and the willpower to do it. The defender and champion for the undeprived, kind of energy like a Robin Hood kind of energy. High level of spiritual thriving. Movements spark by vision, not permission. Um, moving forward. And everything moving forward is with compassion and love and creativity, and you see the big picture. That's more Jupiter, but you see the fantasy and the vision of it, and you feel it, and you're not going to think before you do, you just do kind of energy. Healing identity wounds through courage and self-trust. I believe this so deeply, I'll risk myself for it kind of energy. It is the martyr, it is the sacrificer, and there's bravery added to someone who sacrificed things. On a positive note, this Neptune in Aries, which will be here for a good minute, and Neptune in Aries is going to bring a lot of positivity to the warrior, to the fighter, and it's going to cause a lot of people to sacrifice themselves and be very brave. Also, to really being creative about your identity and who you are, and a lot of compassion for the self as well. Okay. I'm hoping I'm saying enough positive things because now we're getting into the negative things. And this is not just for you individually. And I'll talk about where Neptune in Aries, how it affects individuals, individual signs. But when you're talking about Neptune in Aries, because it's further away, and also too because it's a bigger planet, you are talking about a strong collective energy. So not just me in America or me in Los Angeles, you are talking about around the world. Neptune in Aries gives this whole thing that I'm explaining, the good and the bad energy. Okay. And the good comes when there's great aspects, and when there are also great aspects within your chart. And the bad comes when there's bad aspects in the sky. So when things move in a very cardinal sign like Capricorn, and when things go in the sign Cancer, there could be a lot of tension. And then when it's Libra season and a planet is moving to Libra, a lot of opposition. So all the negative things that I'm about to say is what we're going to be feeling as a collective. Now, on a positive light, when there are planets and the vibe in the sky is dealing with fire energy like Sagittarius season and Leo season, there's going to be a lot of drive, a lot of willpower, a lot of compassion. Everything that I just named before will be happening. So get ready for that. Now, on a negative side, Neptune in Aries is very wishy washy. Okay. This is having a weak ego, having a weak body, having a weak facial structure. We'll get into that a little further later, but lack of assertiveness too, because Neptune is like, where is it? It's gone. So the assertiveness is very short. This is where you take a shot. That's very Aries, like, oh, let's take a shot. And it's poisonous. That's very Neptune. Okay. Also, too, there's in slavery with this energy. Neptune is really dealing with the deprived and the lacking and the people who are less fortunate. And that Aries energy adds to aggression. Also, too, the slaves become more aggressive. That could be positive or negative. I just want you to know that. Neptune in Aries is also copycat, the copycat of self. A lot of people copying other people's identity. We'll get into that. You'll see that a lot. Shows a facade show like you have one face, but then you have another. A lot of identity problems. You're talking about the liar. You're talking about chronically being dissatisfied. Again, repress sexuality. So on one side, there's a spiritual element to it. On the other side, it's repressed. Criminal energy. And what I mean by criminal energy is that a lot of people, because Neptune does represent getting locked up and being confined and being completely hidden, and also Neptune at the same time represents the crazy people, a lot of people who are delulu. It's like, why did you do that? That's psychotic. That's very Neptune. Now that Neptune has aggression added to it with the Aries, and it's very a lot of energy and momentum. So get ready for criminals being allowed to have weapons and being allowed to have guns. I just saw too, and this is on TikTok. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but that the stars in the sky will be aligned with this. Theory is that people who they're recruiting people for ICE, and they're recruiting people who are in jail to work for ICE. Whether you agree with ICE or not, I just want you to explain that in a Neptune and Aries, that would make sense, giving the criminals actual weapons. So you do have that. But also, too, spiritual leaders will actually have some weapons. They will be more aggressive. So I wouldn't be the one to protest in anyone in a mosque or at a church, because maybe that turning the other cheek will change. Okay. Feelings of weakness and helplessness, drifting without a goal, doesn't know what one really wants. In extreme case, there could be a danger and neglect and deception when it comes to crime, not paying attention to crime as well, because that crime energy is the Aries, and now Neptune makes it kind of like, let's not look at it kind of energy. Crime and addiction. Crime with addiction or intoxication. Neptune represents addiction and medication and drugs. And now you add the violence. Now you add the aggression with that. Aggressions are expressed in an indirect manner. Homelessness, being aggressive. Sexual encounters and drugs are intoxicating. Being confused about your sexual identity is what you have with Neptune and Aries. Hold on one second. Cash, can you come close this door because I'm filming? So being confused about that Mars energy, and that is what you identify as, that will probably change. Aries represents me, myself, and I. Who do I identify as? And now there's confusion there. Being induced under medication, unfaithful, or victim of partner is unfaithful. Again, liar, Neptune, deceptive, chaos, fogginess, energy. Yeah, the way you're dressing, the way people are dressing, changing, because you are talking about the physical body. Rage justified as divine purpose. The martyr complex, the savior complex, or maybe it's a lie. They're not really saving, it's just all illusions. War over spirituality and religion or beliefs. And then there's no territory. You get that. Now, I wanted to explain more about, I have it somewhere, Neptune in Aries. Where is it in my notes? And I want to make sure I go back. How Neptune in Aries. Oh, okay. I have it a little bit later. So let me go back up because I don't want to forget anything. Who am I kind of energy? What belief gives me meaning in life? Where am I acting from faith and projection is what you're going to get as a main theme. Collectively, new ways of thinking as far as ideologies and religion and spirituality. Aries represents a new beginning, a rebirth, a start of something. So a lot of start of new religions as well. Identity-based movements, the birth of myths that justify action, and the belief on a battlefield of the self as well. Okay. So the zodiac signs that are mostly affected by this placement, and let me know if you have any questions or if you're confused about anything. But the most zodiac signs affected by this, again, Neptune is going to affect all my cardinal signs. And am I showing my chart? Yeah. So the cardinal signs would be all of the Aries, that would be all of the Capricorns, that would be all of the Libras, and that would be all of the Cancers. This is going to affect you in a negative way. Cardinal signs like to initiate, and now there's like initiating reality, but is it getting started, or is there an illusion when you're trying to start something? Again, Aries, action, your identity, your face, something new, something starting, yourself, war, courage. And Neptune is bringing illusion or fog or maybe even spirituality, but there's an illusion to it. Yeah, so it's going to clash with all those people who have placements in those signs. You can have a Mercury, or you can actually have a Mars in Cancer, and now it's not working great with this Neptune in Aries, like you starting something, or maybe like joining a cult, and it's like a new cult or something like that. So just be aware everything that I said earlier. Um, Aries, this is going to affect you. And, I always think about the Aries rising, but most importantly, if you have an Aries sun, if you have any type of Aries placements, you will be mostly affected. You could be confused about your identity. Maybe there is a spiritual awakening. Um, Aries, whatever, this is not necessarily bad or good. It could be both happening for you. You could be a saver, kind of complex kind of energy, or maybe you're the victim in something. A lot of people projecting fantasies onto you. Maybe you are a leader. Maybe you become a spiritual leader. You could be a hero. You could be a sacrificer, or you could be the villain. Something could be happening here for you. Acting on belief before clarity, burnout from carrying a mission, others projecting fears on you as well. Rage framed as righteousness, impulsive actions driven by belief, not by fact, being a chosen one mentally. Again, this could be someone who's very creative with yourself. And courage is rooted in through compassion, being really creative about your body in some way, leading without domination. Aries must learn faith without ego. That's what you must learn. Okay. Now, Cancers, Neptune in Aries is going to bring a lot of fear. It's going to bring a lot of emotions with you. It's going to be fear driven, and there could be emotional manipulation. There could be something dealing with your homeland, your family, or your past, and it's being weaponized of some sort. And it could be an illusion. There could be trauma narratives used to justify aggression. There could be some kind of hidden fear or hidden aggression around safety, around your family, around your homeland, or something that's coming to like hunt you from the past kind of energy. Boundaries. There's no boundaries when it comes to your home and your safety, or maybe there's confusion around protection or possession. You could be overprotective. You could be emotionally reactive. Fear based kind of energy, fear based around your home or nationalism. But, if you understand Neptune, likes is, Saturn brings the lessons, where Neptune brings the emotions and the feelings, and really connecting to your intuitive side. This is being really strong with water element, and understanding that you're not lacking, and also to understanding the sensitivity of things, and really going off of your intuitive energy. Cancers must learn security without fear. Okay. Try not to focus on the fear element. Now, Libras. This is dealing with some open enemies, right? This is dealing with justice, the court system, and the Lulu energy is involved. So this could be dealing with some open enemies, but it's not personal, but it is open enemies, legal battles, something with the legal system. Maybe a relationship is going to disappear or dissolve, or it doesn't have boundaries or appropriate boundaries. This is projection of war, like you're evil, your righteousness, very righteous kind of energy. The diplomatic, you having balance and harmony, it starts to disappear, and that energy is very selfish, very passive aggressive, moral superiority, avoiding truth to keep the peace. On a positive side, you need to work on ethical leadership, truth-based mediation, restoring balance without being in denial. Libra must learn truth before harmony. Do not sacrifice yourself, Neptune and Aries, over harmony and balance. Okay. So just be aware of what's the truth. And also, too, maybe you should be a little selfish. Now, all of my Capricorns, Neptune in Aries will be dealing with authority and the collapse of a system. And what are the rules? There's no rules. And the meaning of long term energy, the delays of all that, and the father of time is coming, but it's kind of lost in the sauce. It actually lost the time. If the system is hollow, now what? Because you like the system, you like the institution, you like the rules. But institutions lose credibility. That could be happening, or legitimacy. Authority figures exposed as hollow, or more theatrical, or maybe even fake. Neptune is in charge of Hollywood too. So there's that. The systems crack. Systems crack under moral pressure. Career paths lose meaning. You could have a burnout too. Aries likes to be burnt out. Authority figures exposed as performative. Structural burnout and disillusionment. Enforcing rules that no longer make sense. They bring chaos. control without moral grounding, clinging to dead systems. This also makes me think of Neptune and Aries just as a whole and collective, not just Capricorns. This also makes me think that you have to have awareness that, what was I saying? Enforcing the rules now is chaotic, doesn't make sense. That goes more for the collective. Neptune and Aries will bring that. It's like, why is the military here? And it's not making sense. That kind of energy, okay? But Capricorn's authority with consciousness, you must learn that. Bring the emotional, the subconscious energy into it, okay? Yeah, so just know that it will be a cardinal cross, astrology talk, and a lot of tensions for all of my cardinal signs. And collectively around the world, when it's Cancer season, when it's Libra season, when it's Capricorn season, there's going to be more chaos when it comes to those things that I mentioned earlier. Fire signs, though, this is a blessing for you. Okay, so fire signs, that's my Leos and Sagittarius and Aries. This could be good and bad for you. It will be very strong for you, most importantly. But if you have a Leo Mercury or a Leo in Jupiter, that's more of a generational, everyone born that year. Very positive. If you have a Sagittarius moon, Sagittarius sun, Neptune in Aries is going to bring all the positive, the compassion, the charity, the creativity will be happening, sudden conviction without any proof. So it's like things are like, it doesn't make sense, but now things are landing in your lap. There could be courage and there's compassion with courage, or maybe you're being very courageous in a very creative way. Um, the ego or the drive more is very spiritual, and you are the chosen. I was chosen mentally, spiritually. Yeah. So, and your rage is changed into more of a spiritual energy. So, very positive, true spiritual warriors, protectors, and pioneers. Okay. Now, I do want you to understand while Neptune is in Aries, we do have Pluto. Let me bring it up actually. We do have Pluto in the sky in Aquarius. It is Aquarius season, so we have the stallion here. But throughout this, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius. It's going to sextile at the beginning, Pluto. Very positive for a lot of people, and the energy's out there. You just have to do the work. So there is transformation when you use Neptune in a positive way, especially when it comes to that Aries element. So if you're trying to fight for a greater cause, if you're trying to have action when it comes to your dreams and your fantasies, there is this huge power of being obsessed with power and transformation and going through the dark tunnel to see the light. There is positivity with that. That is out there right now, currently in the sky. So take advantage of that. Because it is sextiling. Sextile means that it's positive, but you have to do the work. So do the work with the transformation and the change and the rebirth. Or try not to be surface level. Go really deep, because that Pluto likes to go deeper. It also likes to investigate. It also deals with things that are very taboo to society, but may not be taboo to you. This is being really tapped into that spiritual element. At the same time, Pluto in Aquarius does represent the intellectual aspect of Pluto. So the intellectual, the social media, communication, a friendship group, a network, anything dealing with futuristic things like AI, even maybe having some compassion or something that deals with the sky and navigation, airplanes as well too. Okay, so it is positive. I just want you to understand that. So use that, use the tech, use your belief system. All that is going to be positive if you put it out there. Now, some things that are not very said, that's not said about Neptune and Aries. At least I haven't heard it, and I don't listen to a lot of astrologers. I listen to a few of them because I don't want to take what they're bringing to the table and use it. I want to, be creative and use my own thing. But Neptune and Aries is going to bring what I keep talking about, Ozempic. Also, too, I want you to understand that it is changing the way that we are about our bodies, because it can represent the physical body. And there could be illusions or changing that identity or being lost and confused or bringing chaos to it. Again, remember I told you about that sexuality. We're going to see that a lot more with everyone else. Again, mental health people with weapons, that's going to be a big thing, or being very aggressive. So if you, like, I live in Los Angeles, there's a lot of mental health people out in the streets. They could be more aggressive. So be safe and be aware of that. People acting out spiritually, but there's Delulu energy as well. So even aggression in spiritual areas or circles. Again, anyone contained, and I just think of prison system or institution, there is knives, there is weapons, there is blood added to this element. So be aware of that. Also, too, this is the hero, and there is Delulu's syndrome with this. So ordinary people could be believing that they are the chosen one. Again, a lot of people acting like they're the martyr and they're sacrificing for a greater good. That could be fake. A lot of copycats. I was going to say what book I was reading, but we won't do that. But there was a book, and I'm like, they're copying the history of that anyway. But a lot of that could be happening. Yes. Also, two cults. I want you to understand there could be a new cult. This is a new spiritual. This is a new religion happening. Most importantly, I want you to have awareness that Neptune in Aries represents the photo of the face. So, like, you see people, like, if you notice, I was telling a friend this, like, ICE keeps using their camera phones when videotaping. And there's rumors out there. I don't know. I don't have any evidence of this other than astrology, right? There's rumors that they are scanning the face. Whether ICE is doing that or not, I just want you to understand that this could be a possibility with anything or someone else. Aries rules the head, the face, the skull, your identity, your instincts, the identity of yourself. So, like, I am. That's Aries, okay? And it also represents the first, a singular, an individual. So it's not like a group of people unless we have that Pluto and Aquarius, but that's being positive. So, but if it's with a negative aspect, there could be a group of people. So I just want you to understand that. Now, Neptune, again, illusions, projection, fantasy, distortion, not what really seems. Also, photography. So a lot of people taking the headshots and they're deleting the actual head, or maybe even they're taking a full body shot, but the head is gone, and cropping the face. Maybe the face is floating. That could be a possibility. Just hyper fixed on the head, whether it's gone or it's the only thing there and it's being photographed. That could be something that's happening with Neptune and Aries. And I believe a lot, Neptune represents blur, so the blurring, the Photoshop gets worse when Neptune in Aries. So get ready that with that of people being addicted to smoothness or perfections, and that could happen out without the photos. But just be ready that we could be seeing that more on films and social media and just what is it, on ads or whatever. So that could be happening. The appearance becomes the belief, but it's like a blurred appearance. Masking and role playing, people doing adopting other faces, changing their identity, their presentation. Now, I have Neptune in the first house. I change my looks all the time. I wear head wraps all the time, wigs all the time. I change my hairstyle a lot of times. So now you have Neptune in Aries, and the collective is doing that more than ever. But they're lost in their identity. That could be the negative part, or maybe they're creative with the head. So get ready for that kind of thing, because I find that I'm not lost in my identity. I very much know who I am. At the same time, I like to be very creative. Now, I am very aware too, because I have a Neptune, not in Aries, but Neptune in first house, which could be the same as like having Neptune in Aries. I'm aware that when I see people and I haven't seen them within a year, or they don't follow me on social media, they don't know who I am because I've completely changed my whole identity. It's very common, and I don't get a facelift or anything, but I just know the hair is completely different. I don't have on contacts, or I have on makeup. I don't have on makeup, because if I don't have on makeup, I will completely transform. If you it's like a chameleon kind of energy. So I could do like long nail, like, okay, what I can today look like Cardi B and tomorrow look like Holly Berry. Okay. I'm just trying to explain the extremeness of it. And that's what we're going to get with the collective. So get ready for that. Also, too, when people say someone's two-faced, get ready for that energy. And it's not really two-faced. It's like you have one face at this group and then you have another face with this group, or you have an identity here but a total different identity there. Okay, it's like, what is the real life? So get ready for all that. I tried to bring different predictions and different awarenesses of Neptune and Aries that I haven't done before, or I just elaborated a little more. So I will also to create a playlist on Neptune and Aries, which is going to conjunct Saturn. So there you go. So now let's talk about January 27th. On January 27th, Mars is officially sitting on top of Pluto. We're already feeling this. This is what you had the ice shooting. This is where you had Minnesota having the biggest strikes ever. I've already said these things because once Mars entered Aquarius, I was like, okay, get ready for the Black Lives Matter. So Mars, again, is the planet of action, aggression, will. When you have it fused with Pluto, you're talking about power, control, compulsion, energy, obsessed with power. Aquarius brings the collective, it brings the rebellion, it brings the technology, and yeah, the intellectual energy. Also, social media, a lot of communication about it. And I knew that this was going to be a big one. Okay. Power is activated, pressure erupts where it can be contained, action feels inevitable, especially when you're dealing with groups or movements or any type of fight for the people, fight for the cause. The revolution will be televised with Pluto in Aquarius, not only televised, but on social media. A lot of networks dealing with some action, technology, infrastructure, all that, more action. Um, this is where you see all the systems updating. So this is when you get the sign a new waiver for TikTok. This is where technology could be causing some problems because disruptions is moving really fast. Very cold, very not emotional. Actually, it wants the intellect over emotions. That's what you get with this. Social systems and the people. Aquarius rules crowds. Aquarius rules the collective. It rules a group, a network of some sort, even a mobs. I always say the Mexican mob, right? And it's very innovative. It deals with technology, AI, social media, high communication level, space, and flying airplanes in airports. It's about the revolution again. It's about uprising, social reform. It's very detached from the individual because it's all about the collective. So you wouldn't be saying I'm angry kind of energy. It's more about this is the system and the system needs to change. No more traditional way of doing things. Nah, and it's for the collective. It's that kind of energy. So Pluto sitting with that Mars, and we've already felt this once Mars entered Aquarius, but that both of them are Pluto is obsessed with power, and Mars is going to make sure that power is being changed. Okay, so power through technology. Yeah, will people try to surveillance, shut you down in what you say? Yes, 100%. That's what you get with Mars and Pluto and Aquarius. You know, the other day I posted something and one of the platforms would not even post it. It was uploaded. I looked at it. It said zero. It still says zero. So controlling power of speech, 100% is what you get. That information is on my paywall, by the way. Algorithms, extreme cyber aggression, extreme infrastructure, changes to platform and the networks, all that 100% with Mars is in Aquarius touching it, okay? The group think becomes more aggressive, individuals embodied by an anatomy. I don't know if I'm saying that word right, but sudden uprisings, a lot of walkouts, mass reactions, power struggles, inside movements. This is also dealing with electricity. That's why electricity is out, the power is out, your social media may not be working, tech is not working. All that stuff is because Aquarius is moving too fast. Okay, it loves to move fast, so be aware of that. But Pluto adds to dismantle of things, so it likes to change any type of system. It likes to change anything dealing with the people or causing. Pluto also is things dealing with things that are hidden. So a lot of exposing things that are hidden. Mars provides courage. Pluto provides truth, and Aquarius provides the scale. So that is what we have. And we'll keep having that towards this week. It gets less and less as we go on this week, but no, it just gets closer the day of the 27th. Now, on the 29th, we are still talking about Aquarius energy, and this is where Mercury is sitting on top of Venus. And this is when the ideas could be a little softer. Maybe there's a love interest on technology. Mercury represents social media, words, thinking, messaging, narratives, day to day travel. Now, Venus is like, oh my gosh, look at that beautiful car. Okay. Venus is about love, values, attraction, what we naturally attract, money, aesthetics, harmony, creativity, also court. So there could be something dealing with court on technology kind of thing. Aquarius is the collective technology, detachment, progress. Again, a lot of Aquarius energy. Thoughts could be more affectionate. Affection becomes more like an idea. are very intellectual. This is when people are attracted to the intellectual connection through ideas. You are at a party and it's more of like an intellectual party, or you're at a social media event. A lot of networking kind of parties are thinking about the future kind of party. Conversations about value, love, money, and ethics. Social movements soften their messages, being diplomatic when you are having a dialogue. A lot of art, fashion, beauty, but it's more unconventional, it's more futuristic, that kind of energy. And it's like, I like how we think. We, not me, because Aquarius is not about the self, it's more about the we. Okay, a lot of attraction to someone who's very original, someone who's very who provides humor, but the humor is more of an intellectual or something different kind of energy. This is also talks about how you dress. I wore something so different the other day and the kids not like it. It's very kind of almost like androgynous. Aquarius is like, think outside of the box. What are there really gender roles with Aquarius? No. So kind of dressing like that. Emotional distance, but being genuine. Non-traditional relationships also. Again, this is technology, media, and money. So value-driven messages gains traction. Influencers, they kind of go a little softer, being a little more feminine. Money conversations tied to the we, not just the me. A lot of art and tech collaborations with this. AI maybe is going to do something more creative. Again, this could be someone around this time you meet a love interest at the airplane, on the airport, in transit, in the sky, or maybe online, or maybe through some type of new invention. Yes, but maybe even joining a party online too. Aquarius represents platforms, Mercury and Venus, what spreads because it feels right on a platform, a social media platform. Okay. So that's what we have. Also to detachment, just know that conjunctions are good and bad. So be aware of that. So it could be something communicated that looks aesthetically unpleasing because people are like, that's weird. So you could be dressing out of the box or very different or futuristic or before your time, before the trends. At the same time, some people could think it's weird. Okay. Also, too, a lot of love towards the awkward person, so someone who's awkward or someone who has more of a on a spectrum kind of energy. Aquarius represents to me on a spectrum. I didn't learn that anywhere, but from my research, this is what I realized. Because when you're on the spectrum, you're a little bit odd, and there's not a little, there's a strong intellectual aspect. And that's very Aquarius energy too. Okay, so that's what. Just be aware of that. Good and bad is what you have with conjunctions, but it's very strong. Lastly, we have the full moon in Leo. If you're here for the full moon, I get a lot of people who are here for full moons or new moons. Let me see what we have. Oh, yes, I will. Are you going to do a Super Bowl prediction before the Super Bowl, February 8th? For a fact. And my prediction was right last year. So I feel like, why not? Yeah, I'm already one for one. Sure. I just have to know. I definitely have to have a birth time of the team, which most likely I should have. And then oh, we know who's playing now, huh? So I could definitely look that up actually. I'll look that up today and I'll post it. Most likely it'll be on short form content because that's what I did last time. So I'll make sure that you guys get it. It will be, I do post on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So and maybe if I remember, I'll put it on my weekly video because we have what? Do we just have a week? We just have one more week. Don't worry, I will do it ASAP. Also, too, I need to know who's the home. That's the thing. That's how I got it last time. Who's the home? Anyway, who's home field or I don't know sports, but I know astrology. So I got it last time. So we'll see. Even too, I was able to predict when there were going to be some issues within the game too. So that was kind of fun because that's something that I don't normally do. But yes, Greek Sun 369. I will be doing that. So check that out and look for that. If I post a video this week and it's a live video because I'm supposed to do the horoscopes of February, then I will try to throw that in if I have it done before that, which I should because I'm going to do it after this. Okay, now let's talk about the full moon in Leo. Here, let's see. This is the last transit of the week. Here is the full moon. It's in Leo. It's at 13 degrees. It's opposing Venus. It's opposing, of course, the sun. Ignore Vulcan. It's opposing Mars as well. There is a wide opposition to Mercury, but Mercury is there in Aquarius. We can ignore that. And when you have these oppositions, then there's no balance. Okay. 13 degrees is what we have. And when you have 13 degrees, that is an Aries degree. So again, everything that I explained about Aries before, you get that. So you get the I, you get the me, you get the selfishness, you get impulsivity, you get war, you get sharp objects, you get blood. That is going to be involved with this with this Leo full moon. Now, also too, you get selfishness or being very impulsive, very fast kind of energy. Okay, fearlessness also, because we are dealing with an opposition. I would assume that you would get more of the negative, but it could be just a theme of the full moon. Okay, so that's what you have now. Any Leo full moon, you are talking about it rules the heart. You are talking about the pride. You're talking about being recognized, being on stage. You're talking about celebrities. You're talking about a leader. That can also represent president. Anything dealing with royalty. Leo rules gold. It rules our self-expression and creativity. Need to be seen. Creative life force. I'm trying to think what else. Social influencers as well. Anyone who's a big influencer is very big, very bold. Any type of cat kind of animal also too. Now when you're dealing with the moon, emotions demand visibility. Suppression backfires. Authenticity becomes non-negotiable. Whenever you're dealing with Leo energy, it's very confrontational as well. It's a very fixed sign, both of them. The sun being in Aquarius and Leo energy, so it doesn't like change. So you have that. Now when you have opposition to Venus and Mars in Aquarius, Leo moon is personal feeling, emotional loyalty. This matters to me. It's about me. It's going against the collective and the groupthink. Venus and Mars is about collective values, action, but it's about the bigger people, the bigger cause. What is the ideal for everyone, the collective? And it's detached from the emotions, and you are being emotional about yourself. Okay, so Moon and Venus. Her feelings around fairness, friendship, or love, feeling emotionally overlooked by a group, by a what? You pick Black Lives Matter over me? Okay. Aesthetic or value based disagreement goes public. You don't value what I feel. Venus in Aquarius says be objective. Leo moon says this is personal. The moon opposing Mars. This is a lot of emotional triggers too. Added to the friendship, to the group, to your harmony, to your balance, and reactive emotions, defensive around your pride or your identity, anger sparked by feelings unseen, performative outrage on all sides. Okay, Mars adds to fight the energies to the emotion. Can't see eye to eye. So it's really about the self and the expression versus the group. Let's see how this full moon plays out. Actually, now that I'm here, let me see how this plays out with Trump too. I always forget how to pull up. Okay, let's see what we have for Trump, because he has Leo energy. Let me switch it. Sorry. Full moon is sitting close to his power. Let's see how this plays out with Trump himself and his addiction to power and to lead. There could be some emotion egos involved there. So let's see. Oh, I didn't tell you too. But it's not hitting directly. So we'll see, but it is close. That full moon is close to him, and it will just affect him personally. A lot of issues, more power seems like it's going over here for the open enemy, or the partner, or for JD Vance. But a lot of selfishness for Trump. Yeah, and emotions. Now, I didn't say the ruler of the moon, which is the sun, and the sun is sitting in Aquarius. So I think, and it's sitting next to Mars, is very aggressive at the same time, and is dealing with the female who is very aggressive, or is dealing with the male who dresses very well, or like who's in law, and is shining a light towards that, and there's emotions, or the people are against that kind of energy. So get ready for that. Public emotional displays, celebrities or leaders reacting very emotionally. That could happen, especially for Trump. And it's like, well, I thought you're acting emotional because you're obsessed with power kind of energy. Crowds responding to perceived disrespect. Loyalty tested within groups or movements. This is emotionally trying not to conform kind of energy. Ego battles, watch out for that. Emotional manipulation for attention. If you don't agree, you don't love me kind of energy. Pride escalating conflict unnecessarily. So, yeah, that's what we have. This is going to affect all my Leo risings for sure. Listen, Leo risings, all my Leos, it's going to be affecting you. All my Aquarius is going to be affecting you. The emotions, the people are on the opposite side there. Again, this will be affecting all my fixed signs. If you have any planets around 13 degrees, um, Taurus or Scorpios, this is going to be affecting you too as well. Any planets around that will be affecting that. All right. So that is what we have this week, you guys. Let me pull some cards for first we'll do the collective. What can we expect for the collective this week? We have a card here that actually, oh, a lot of socializing, a lot of getting together, a lot of support energy. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, that Venus is very strong. A lot of harmony. We pulled the Justice card. So first we got the Three of Cups. Then we got the Justice card. Very feminine energy. A lot of girls getting together, partying. You're talking about like baby showers, that kind of energy. Oh, here we go. We got the Rebirth. We got the Death card. Okay, so intensity added to this energy, intensity added to the female, intensity added to fairness and justice, and a change of it, a rebirth of it, or a lot of dark shadow stuff, but it comes to light kind of energy. Things will be brought into light when it comes to any type of socializing with females or friends, or people that you kind of bond together, or people who are supporting you in support of something or for fairness of something. And there's a transform there, a transformative energy or rebirth there for the collective or obsessed with power, because that does represent that Pluto energy. Okay, Scorpio energy is what I really mean. Scorpio. Okay, so that's what we have for the collective. I hope that makes sense. Now, what do we have for you? Because you're watching this and you want to know here for you. We got a Queen of Pentacles this week. This is someone who's being very logical, very practical, saving the money, focus on long-term goals, focus on health. This is someone who's writing down the to-do list and checking all the boxes and sticking to a structure and a plan. We have an Ace of Wands, a lot of new drive. This could be spiritually and emotionally, and creativity in a creative way, because we're dealing with Neptune and Aries. But this week, you are going to be more driven. God's giving you new opportunities. That's going to give you active energy. And lastly, what do we have for you? Because you are here, Ace of Cups, a lot of new beginnings. A lot of new beginnings with love and relationships and compassion and intuitive energy. Very Neptune and Aries is very positive for you. Also, too, you got that grounded energy. You need the grounded energy. So we got the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Cups. A lot of grounded energy and a lot of new beginnings for a lot of us watching this and listening to this. All right. So that's what we have. If you guys want some free stuff, click the link in the bio. I am going to do my newsletter to give the weekly transits. And I have to upload the post to go more in detail for behind the paywall. I actually want to tell you the things that I have on my paywall, because I'm like, people don't know and they need to know. Let me see if I can put my community. I'm not going to put it on here. But I'm going to just say the recent things that I've posted and said. I talked about February, and I actually put that up before the video, and I break it down daily, not daily, but the important dates of February. And I talk about great dates for like what's best for making money, financial strategy, dating, romance, socializing, having a party, what's great for networking, what's great for intellectual work, anything dealing with courage or manifestation. That's on there. That's on that post. I also talked about, I did a deep dive on Erica Kirk and reading her chart and pulling tarot for that. I did a 2026 tarot reading, and I did it by elements. So if you're earth sign, we went deep on what has best for 2026 for you. What else do we have? I did early predictions for 2026 as well. I talked about Saturn, how it's in Pisces, how it affects the collective. What else do we have? Anytime Mercury retrogrades, I have content on that. And I do a survival kit for every time the zodiac change, because I know we listen to more about like February transits, but it really should be based on like when the sun hits Aquarius, when Aquarius season happens. So I do a survival guide for each season. So like Libra season was up, but I have to do Aquarius season as well. So I'll be working on that this week. Yeah, and any content that I have up, I try to mirror that and do more details of it behind the scenes, if that makes sense, for the paywall. So yeah, that's what I have for my private community. I just wanted to sell that and let you guys understand. But I will see you guys next time. The next video should be on the horoscopes of February.